What's going on? Hello, welcome to another episode of Read With Me. I am yours truly, Isabel Badell. I am one of the founders here at Billionairette, and our mission here is to impact the lives of 4 billion souls, y'all. 4 billion souls. And that's definitely not going to be through me, just through me, That's why we need the help of everybody in here to spread the word, spread the love, spread the message, be part of the movement, because we're here to not only bring personal and financial freedom, but, set you up for success. That's what we believe in. So we are committed to reading 22 books for the year of 2022. Okay. One on personal freedom and one on financial freedom every single month. So make sure to check out the personal freedom books that Vanessa Black is reading because they're really good. Okay. They are so powerful. And we do believe that both the personal freedom and the financial freedom are correlated with one another. So having the ability to just, sponge in all that information and pretty much fill yourself up with some positivity and some really, really great, powerful stuff is one way that you can just get closer and closer to becoming the best version of yourself. And that's what honestly we believe that you are. You are perfect. So without further ado, we are reading Invent It, Sell It, Bank It. Okay, for financial freedom. And wow, this book has been so good. Okay. It's really, really good. Like I'm really pumped about it. It's by Lori Greiner. Sorry, girl, if I'm messing up your name, I'm sorry, but you are incredible. Okay. Because she's just laying down some really, really awesome stuff. And most importantly, she's so raw with it. She's so direct with the way that she approaches the situations that are happening in the book. And she's like your friend throughout it, like especially she keeps saying inventor, the word inventor throughout the book, because that's what she considers herself to be, like an inventor and entrepreneur. But I want you to take this book and obviously look at it as like this golden nugget, because it is. But I also want you to look at the word inventor and almost replace it with entrepreneur, business owner. Again, if you are an inventor, listening to this, awesome. But what she's laying down is so truthful for all the different industries that you might be involved in. Okay. So I'm so excited to get into it. We're going to get into chapter 2, and it's called, Is Your Idea a Hero or a Zero? Okay. It has also 2 parts to it because of the length. So get ready for 2 parts of chapter 2. So let's get into it, shall we? Awesome. So number 2, sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take the first step. That's a good one. I really like that one. A tiny magnet that keeps your glasses attached to your shirt, even when you're doing a somersault. Yes. Removable full face tattoos for avid sport fans who want to show their team spirit without the effort and mess of face paint. Yes. A cotton shower cap style head covering to keep cooking odors out of your hair. No. A cotton shower cap. Oh, it's cotton. Of course, it's going to absorb it. A cotton shower cap style head covering to keep cooking odors out of your hair. Okay. She says no to that one. And then she's like, a squirrel proof bird feeder that delivers an electric shock to hungry squirrels via remote control. She's like, heck no. Okay, so my business instincts are powerful and reliable. I may be I may not be able to calculate profit percentages and compound interest formulas rapidly off the top of my head, but I can look at any product, such as the ones listed above, and instantly know if it's a hero or a zero. But here's the thing about instincts. They don't come out of thin air. Every time I instantaneously assess a product, mine or anyone else's, I'm also consciously, subconsciously running through a series of questions in my mind. I've always had a strong awareness of what sells and why people buy, which enables me to answer these in just a few seconds, so fast that I'm not even aware I'm doing it. I feel fortunate to have this gift, yet the speed with which one can answer these questions is not important. But what's important is that they get asked and answered, period. The answers will tell you whether your idea is as commercially viable as you believe it is. If you want to break into the market, you've got to be willing to mercilessly scrutinize your product and open yourself up to brutally honest, objective judgment. If you don't do that without fudging and without offering justifications or excuses when your answers aren't what you'd like them to be, you'll be well armed to handle every subsequent step on the path to creating your best selling customer product. Ooh. And then she goes into 9 questions to see if you have a winning idea. This one is great. And to all my coaches out there that are, creating products and have high-end services, okay, personally, we're going to be asking ourselves this, obviously, but I encourage you and I invite you to ask yourself this too, okay? So, number 1, what is my product? Okay. This sounds easy, but you'd be surprised at how many people have a hard time articulating their idea. If it takes you more than 1 to 2 sentences to describe your product or business, you probably don't have a clear vision of how it's going to work or whom it's for. Whittling down your concept to its selling essentials will also help you as you find the perfect name for your product. This is the first piece of your branding and marketing efforts, and it will also be the linchpin. What's a good brand name? Is it catchy? It's descriptive, it's brief, and it's easy to say. You can't get more basic than the name for my first invention, the earring organizer. It wasn't flashy, but it left no doubt about what it did or why you'd want one. Don't try to be too clever. 2 of my Shark Tank entrepreneurs, Mark Newberger and Jeffrey Simon, inventors of a neoprene wedge that fits between your car seat and the console to keep things like food and phones from slipping where drivers can't reach, considered over 800 names, such as Fuga about it, and the Wonder Wedge, and the Gap Goalie, and many others. Finally, one day, Simon's mother passed through the living room where they were debating names and said, "Guys, it stops stuff from dropping. Call it a drop stop." Bingo. Once you hit upon the name that sells, or once you hit upon the name that says and sells it all, make sure it gets trademarked so no one else can sell a product using that name. In addition, make sure that no one else has already trademarked it, or you could be forced to change your name just as your brand is starting to resonate with customers. Registering for a trademark is a relatively inexpensive process compared to filing a patent. See Chapter 6 for extensive details on that. And conducted through the same agency, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Offices. Interesting. That's really good there. Does it solve a problem? Number 2. Many of the greatest inventions were developed because an inventor found a problem so ridiculous, pervasive, or aggravating that he or she felt compelled to do something about it. Earl Dickinson invented the Band-Aid because his wife was accident prone and kept cutting herself in the kitchen. Mary Anderson invented windshield wipers in 1903 when she noticed that streetcar drivers had to lean out their windows to see during rainstorms. Sarah Breedlove, who reinvented herself as Madam C.J. Walker, invented the hair product that would make her first African American female millionaire because she was so desperate to stop her hair from falling out. My history of helping my mother find lost pieces of jewelry, missing shoes, and misplaced cosmetics probably explains why so many of my inventions were created to help eradicate clutter and to keep people organized. I'm also a busy person, so I'm constantly developing or investing in labor and time-saving devices that will help me and allow me and let me do what I have to do quickly so I can get activities I actually want to do. I love to eat and I love to cook, but I hate the mess. That inspired a set of no mess cooking utensils. I jumped on the chance to invest in Scrub Daddy Sponge on Shark Tank because it's one of a kind polymer. I finally found a way to thoroughly clean my glass and ceramic stovetop without scratching it. More about Scrub Daddy in chapter 6. I'm so pumped about that one. I create or invest in solutions to problems I've witnessed or experienced myself. I try to make products that make people's lives easier and better. I won't sell anything that I wouldn't want to use myself. You shouldn't. You shouldn't either. It's easy to spot products that were designed by an inventor or company just out for a buck. You can always tell when making money and not providing service, value, or quality was at the forefront of the product's designer's mind. People who sincerely want to make their customers' lives better design the best products. People who sincerely want to make their customers' lives better design the best products. Number 3, is it unique? When you invent something, you can do one of the two things: create a whole new product for the market or improve what's already on the market. I knew my first invention was a hero because I knew nothing like it existed. Most jewelry boxes are all the same: a box with a lid that opens up to reveal little compartments and drawers that hold one or two pieces neatly. If you own anything more than that, you have to upgrade to a box the size of a suitcase, or you have to stack your jewelry on top of itself, which inevitably leaves you with a jumbled mess. My earring organizer was compact, but it allowed you to see every earring you owned hanging beautifully before you. With most products I bring to the market, whether my own or someone else's, I try to introduce something that the world has never seen. There are many sunglasses on the market, but none that fold down to a tiny 2.5-inch like the ones developed by Neox and the I wear in the intro to Shark Tank. There is plenty of duct tape in the world, but none so strong that it can repair a leaky pipe or a broken shovel like a multi-purpose super tape adhesive called Fiber Fix. A shoe organizer is just another shoe organizer until it spins and allows you to store up to 75 articles of clothing, shoes, purses, and belts in a space only inches wide. If there's one mistake I see entrepreneurs make over and over again, is to believe so strongly in their invention that they never bother to make sure it's as unique as they think it is. It's so good to believe strongly in your invention, but not to the point that you're wearing blinders. About 6 or 7 years ago, I participated in one of Oprah's searches for the next big thing, a contest jointly sponsored by Oprah and QVC to find the year's next great invention. The top 3 contestants would earn a guest appearance on Oprah, and then one would be chosen to be the winner. Conventions were held across the country in Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Chicago. Thousands of people showed up to present their ideas to QVC buyers, and I appeared as a consulting expert. People could wait in line to ask me 5 to 10 minutes at a time. And over the course of one day in Los Angeles, I met with almost 1,000 participants. It was difficult because everyone was hopeful, but not everyone had a good idea. But I tried to look at what was good about them and send people on their way with some suggestions about how they could rethink them or make them better. Then I met a woman who proudly showed me her new baby bag. It was nicely designed bag with convenient features, particularly in that it could fold into a changing mat or fold up into a purse. Secretly, though, I didn't think it was that different from so many others already on the market, but it wasn't there to crush anyone. I wasn't there to crush anyone's dreams. I was there to advise people and steer them to where they would figure out for themselves if it was a hero or a zero. So that's what I did for this participant. About an hour later, another young woman sat down across from me, carrying her invention, a baby bag, except for the color. It was exactly the same as the one I'd seen an hour before. Now I had to say something. I told her that I understood how excited she was about it, but I had to share with her the fact that I had seen the same bag just a little while earlier. As I spoke, I prepared myself for her disappointment, maybe even a few fireworks of tears. I got neither. No way, she said. It can't be the same as mine. She thanked me for my time and walked away. Here's a crazy thing. Over the course of the day, I saw 5 more bags just like that one. Every detail was nearly identical. In total, 7 inventors at that one conference had designed the same exact product for the same exact market, and not one of them knew about the others until they met with me. And I shared this with them. Interesting. Amazingly, the 6 inventors I was able to warn reacted to the news the same way, complete denial. They did not want to believe that all the time, money, and effort they'd put into the invention might have been done for nothing. You got to pay attention to what's already for sale and what has been patented or is patent pending, or a major reason to hire a patent lawyer. More on chapter 6. Damn, chapter 6 is going to be lit. It is far more difficult to compete with other products already on the market than to introduce a brand new unique product. Of course, it is also a lot harder to come up with a truly unique idea than it is to improve upon something that already exists. So let's say that you're sure you've got a hero of a product, but also know that you've got competition. What can you do? Where are the areas that can give you an advantage? Well, sometimes your price can make you unique. When she was only 11, Lani Lazari concocted her first batch of simple sugars body scrub to treat her painful, persistent eczema using only natural ingredients. The skincare market is hugely competitive, and there were already natural scrubs out there claiming to do the same thing as her product. It was for this reason that I chose not to make her an offer when she appeared on Shark Tank, even though she was a great contestant. But though using a scrub wasn't a unique solution to the problem of eczema, Simple Sugars was unique in that it provided a handmade, hand-jarred, hand-labeled natural product for about half the price of its main competitors, while still upholding a high standard of quality. People love it, including Mark Cuban, who didn't make the deal with Lazari, but that allowed her to expand her rapidly growing business. Sometimes your story can make you unique. Do inventors James Dyson's vacuum cleaners really clean your carpets that much better than the ones that you find at Walmart for much less? He says they do. And he points to a lot of research to back up this claim. For customers who aren't satisfied unless they eat off the floor, the possibility of better makes the higher price point worthwhile. It did for me. I love my Dyson vacuum cleaner. It works, and I like seeing the dirt whirl around in the canister. The product looks so cool and the marketing story is so convincing. It is easy to believe that it offers a unique kind of cleaning experience and that has been worth millions to Dyson. Better does not necessarily trump unique. If people believe that their problem has been solved, they're probably not going to be interested in 2.0 version, especially if it costs more than the original. Sometimes people have gotten used to the product being a certain price, and nothing you do is going to convince them that they should pay more, even if your product is better quality. Or maybe there are people willing to pay, but not enough to propel you out of a niche market. That was why none of the sharks made an offer to Brian Altmore, co-founder of the lugless baggage shipping service. It is positioned as a less expensive alternative to paying the hefty fees airlines charge to carry luggage beyond your carry-on. But there are already companies that provide this niche service, and none of the sharks could figure out how lugless could scale and still keep its prices below those of its competitors. It's probably great service, but despite Almer's protests at the time of the show, we still saw it as a luxury niche service. You can, of course, make a lot of money in the niche market, but it requires magical combination of great marketing and for virtuous timing. Vending machines used to exclusively carry sodas. So that's what people bought to drink when they were in a hurry or on the go. Bottled water became an alternative, and Evian marketed itself into a status symbol for the healthy set that publicly proclaimed that drinker was healthy, fit, and sophisticated enough to appreciate the difference in taste between natural spring-fed European water and tap water. The research came out showing how awful soda is for people's health, and the bottled water started flying off the shelves. Vending machine makers adapted so they could carry the popular product Evian and the like became mainstream products, and cultural change was born. Today, green products, which used to be niche, are picking up speed, especially now that the millennials are growing old enough to make their own purchasing decisions. Keep this in mind at all times. Retailers are always looking for what is new and different. It is in your best interest to try to be that, not cheaper, not even just better, brand new, different, and surprising. That's what will get the attention of stores, retailers, and shopping networks. Once you've proven you can do business with them, and better yet, once you've become indispensable resource to them and their customers, then you can start moving into big brand territory. But in general, it is unwise to try that until you're well established and have the right connections. That's, I mean, as I'm reading this, like where my mind is going is like, if you have a product or service, you have to be willing and able to always be innovative with it. You know, this particular section is called, is it unique? You know, and that's something that I feel like in the coaching space, everyone's a coach. You know, there's so many coaches and the industry is growing so rapidly that, I mean, what makes you so unique than the next business coach, than the next life coach, or the next, you know, mindset coach? You know, there's so many different types of coaches. So what makes you unique? And consistently asking yourself all these different things and how you can separate yourself from whatever competition there is, because we don't believe in competition. It's more like, how can you deliver more value into the marketplace while being memorable and not being forgettable, you know, and while still delivering a product or a service that can sustain time, because it always evolves so rapidly, right? So that's what I was thinking throughout just reading this, you know. So number 4, okay? Number 4, is it something people need or want? Most hugely successful inventions are functional and make obligatory tasks easier. Appliances like the clothes dryer and the dishwasher change homemakers' lives forever. Can you imagine life without zippers, shoelaces, or disposable razors? How about electrical light bulbs, the wheel? At some point, human beings got along with without every one of these inventions, but once they became available, they were indispensable part of daily existence. But someone somewhere surely looked at the first disposable razor and thought, who needs that? After all, that's what people said about the first cordless phone and the first computers, too. Indeed. Your challenge should be to create something so amazing that once people start using it, they won't be able to live without it. Create to fulfill people's needs, not their wants, because once they believe they need something, your invention is better protected against economic forces. Let me freaking write that down because wow, wowza, that was good. That was so good. Create to fulfill people's needs, not their wants, because once they believe they need something, your invention is better protected against economic forces. For example, when the economy collapsed in 2008, luxury items stopped selling, jewelry sales dried up, but people continued to buy disposable razors. If asked which item they wanted more, a beautiful piece of jewelry or a 5-pack of disposable razors, most people would have probably desired for most people would probably express desire for the jewelry, but when money gets tight, people don't buy what they want. They buy what they need, or at least what they perceive they need. Small luxuries like specialty coffees, treats, cosmetics, and haircuts tend to do well no matter what the state of the economy is, because they're inexpensive ways for people to feel good and look good. They always want to spend money on these basic things. In tough times, there are the ways we treat ourselves and make ourselves feel better. Wow, that's so strong. And we saw that through COVID, right? So many different businesses shut down, you know, but it was the small luxuries like specialty coffees, treats, cosmetics, and haircuts that tend to do well, because in these tough times, this is how we treat ourselves to make ourselves feel better. Any inventor who wants job security should aim to create items that will be perceived as necessities, not luxuries. Accessories are an excellent example. Your phone works fine and and smoothly fits into your pocket without a cool case. But do you know anyone who walks around with an unprotected, undecorated phone? People have been carrying around their reading glasses in their shirt pockets and dangling from chains forever. Each option has some serious drawbacks. If your pocket, your glasses, in your pocket, your glasses could easily slip out and break, and any chain, even a cool one, is still a granny chain. But no one questioned these options until Rick Hopper invented the reed rest, which magnetically and discreetly keeps your glasses securely fastened to your shirt or blouse no matter what. You can still tuck your glasses in your shirt pocket. You can still use a chain, but why on earth would you if you could buy this instead? I would want to check that out because I always tend to drop my sunglasses because I either have them on my head or keep them on my shirt. And it's interesting to have a magnetic piece for that. Okay, number 5. Is it demonstratable? Your customers will have to get your product as soon as they see it. Of course, you'll provide investors with fabulous marketing materials and your customers with excellent copy on the package, but it's not the copy that's going to clinch the sale of your product. Your copy is there only to confirm what has led potential customers to read the copy in the first place. Their desire to believe your product works as well as they want it to. Yet, we've become a sophisticated buying class, and few people believe everything they read. It's a lot harder, however, for people to dismiss what they see with their own two eyes. Products that can easily be demonstrated sell really, really well. The late Billy Mays was a genius with demonstrable cleaning products. How could anyone deny the power of OxyClean when you watch him erase grape juice and wine stains from a white carpet swatches with just a small spritz of the product? Or when you saw one scoop of OxyClean then turn the water within transparent that of filthy clothes from black to clear. Seeing is definitely believing. That's so true. That's how I knew Rick Hopper. That's how I knew Rick Hopper's read rest was a hero. The other sharks didn't see it that way, though. Robert mentioned that he thought the product would be the kind of thing sold in gas stations, but they didn't have any experience with the category. I, however, had developed a successful line of reading glasses, and though I didn't wear them myself, I knew that many of my customers, not to mention my friends and family members, had the same complaint. They were always losing, misplacing, or breaking their eyewear, whether prescription glasses, sunglasses, or reading glasses. They didn't have a safe, attractive way to keep their glasses on their person when they weren't using them. Read rest was the answer. I had already sold hundreds of thousands of reading glasses. It stood to reason that a large portion of those customers would think this was a cool little gadget. They did. And Rick Hopper is now a millionaire with line of new ideas coming down the pipeline. That's strong. That's strong. I love that. How do I make it? That's number 6. Will your product be made of plastic or wood, metal or fabric? What type of factory makes your type of product? Where do such factories exist? Is it important to you that you manufacture in the United States, or can your product be made overseas? We'll cover how to select a manufacturer in depth on chapter 8, but you need to do some preliminary research at this stage in the invention process because the answer will immediately give you a ballpark figure of how much it will cost you to make your product, which will then tell you how much you can charge for it. And price matters a great deal. If your target market can't afford your product, you're in trouble. In addition, the majority of consumers in our post-recession society will continue to feel a pinch for fear for years as they come to grips with the fact that the price of necessities like food and fuel have risen, but paychecks have not. We'll be discussing pricing in chapter 4. Another question to which the answers will inform pricing, manufacturing, and even selling is how big will your product be? The bigger your product, the harder it will be to sell, not only because of pricing concerns, but also because retailers have not so much square footage for display and storage, whether for stock in the back, or in their warehouse. It would be a shame to meet a retailer who loves your product but can't sell it because they don't have the room. Obviously, the size of the product will matter if its size is part of what makes it wonderful. Refrigerators were once almost half the size they are now until people started demanding more space, not just for food storage, but also for home square footage as well. Interesting. Number 7. Whenever possible, invent for the masses. There's a niche market for products, but it's easier to design something that is useful with broad appeal at a price point that a majority of people can afford. The broader your audience, the better your chances of making large numbers of sales. There are many examples of products made for specific segments of society that have sold spectacularly well, of course. The kids market is filled with them. Who knows? Maybe you've got the next Beanie Baby or Silly Bands or on your hands. Who could have predicted that Slinky would still be selling after 60 years? Luck could be on your side, but it's better if you don't count on it. If you insist that you have knowledge about a certain demographic that makes you confident you can sell to that specific group, make plans to branch out as soon as possible once you've made your mark on that audience. Number 8, is it safe? It's not acceptable to leave it to the marketplace to decide whether a product poses a serious risk or not. If you suspect your product could be dangerous, even when it's used by its intended audience for its intended purposes, it is imperative that you refrain from taking it to the market until you have eliminated all the risks. Toys, in particular, need to be vetted extremely carefully. Kids put objects in their mouths. Even children should be old enough to know better. You don't want to be the next buckyballs, those rare earth magnets that were not just called but banned because children kept swallowing them. But it's not just inventors of children's toys and products we need to be careful. Food is extremely risky, as are energy beverages and baby formulas. Anything that requires batteries is going to have to go through its own battery of tests. Count on just about anything you create being tested for lead content. And then number 9, which is the last one. There are a few product categories: apparel, cosmetics, soft goods, like textiles or fabric, food, consumables. Consumable products are fabulous products because they provide you with continual revenue. They must be replaced once they're depleted. They can be the household item that appear frequently on your shopping list, like razors, dryer sheets, vitamins, and soap. They're in your office too. Papers, pens, and toner are all consumable. I wish I invented consumables. Somehow I'm always struck with ideas for durable goods instead. Though I don't make consumables, I love to invest in them, and most investors feel the same way. Think about that when you're developing your idea. So let's say you've answered all of the 9 hero or 0 questions. What do your answers mean? Well, it depends. If you decided that your idea isn't as robust as you thought it was, that means a lot, because the earlier you determine that you're running with the wrong idea, the sooner you can start thinking up the right one. But aside from that, even if you answered yes to all the questions above, nothing will confirm from a doubt that your invention is a hero except putting it out on the market and watching people buy it. If no one does, you have your answer. Still, you can improve your chances of success by doing market research. A drawing will not be enough. People need to be able to see your product, touch it, and use it. If your answer to the question in this chapter gave you reason to believe that your idea has commercial potential, you're ready to take the next leap. It's time to build a prototype. And then she actually offers a 0 to 0 checklist where you have a couple of the different checkpoints that she mentions in the book that you can go over. Some indicators that your product may be a hero, and then she has some that you can check off. It serves a function, it solves a problem, it is unique, people want it or need it, it's demonstrable, you can sell it at a reasonable price for what it is, it's appealing to the mass market. There's a lot of competitors. Oh, there are not a lot of competitors. It is consumable. It poses no obvious danger to the public. You can explain it in a few short sentences. You have a patent or patents. It appeals to a wide age range. It's manageable in size. And if you can check off 8 or more of these, your product might be a hero. That's awesome. And I really, really enjoyed this chapter because even though like what we actually sell is not, it is a product to a degree. Yeah, it is a product. But it's not like a pen or something. It's not like a consumable thing, or maybe it is. I have to sit with it some more. But I feel like this is something that coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners have to really take a look at what it is like that they're actually delivering, because I mean, we're heading into a time where obviously the digital space is so incredibly like it's just emerging into a whole new beast, you know? So we have to take into account of that. And we also have to take into account the type of demographic that is going to be buying your product or your service. Okay. Who is your target market? Who are you talking to? You know, who is that target market and who are you speaking to? I'm so excited to actually dig deeper into this because yes, we've been in business for like 5 years and like we've been doing the same thing and going deep with it. But there comes a point where like you understand it, but it's time to get deeper with it. And because things are changing, you need to be even like 10 more steps ahead and foresee what people want. So um that's a beautiful thing about business. Like you're always doing something new, you know. And if you are the type of person that can just roll with I guess the punches or whatever that is, um then you have a very very likely chance of winning, you know, in this uphill battle, because it's those that don't give up, it's those that are continuously innovating, and it's those that are not scared to try new things that will continuously excel and exceed everyone's expectations. So I'm excited to do a deeper dive in our own inventory, and I hope you do the same. I'll see you in the next video where we go into chapter 3 of Invent It, Sell It, and Bank It. This book has been phenomenal and it's going to get even more phenomenal. I can feel it. I know it. I have a really good vibe from it. So I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you soon.